This is a review and assembly of a vanity for our new bathroom. The vanity was purchased from Floor & Decor. It's a James Martin vanity, model number, you see that item number is 205V, or version 295. So it's a really thin, a little bit long vanity. Our bathroom really needed that. The bottom piece, which is what I'm going to assemble, is held together using, I guess, dowels and a bolt. It's pre-drilled. You can see the different locations on each side. There's two of these. The issue I'm running into originally is the tolerance between those two is too tight. So assembling it on vertically like this, I'm having it, going up and down. I'm going to have to whittle away at one of the holes to get it to fit correctly. Another feedback for this vanity is this is the color we ordered. It came significantly darker, and it said solid wood construction and all that. But something I noticed when checking it out, and you can really see it at the bottom. Solid wood, maybe, but it's not a solid piece of wood. It is glued together individual cuts with a veneer exterior. So I guess that might not be false advertising, but it is not what I thought of when I purchased a solid wood vanity. This is the dowel and bolt kind of securing method that it came with. I think it's kind of solid. There's a weight will be carried on the two dowels and it'd just be secured there. I would have liked to see a lip or something attached to this piece so that it's further secured and would help in installing it, because it would just sit on that lip and it would be hidden and would aid in construction. The issue I'm again running into is these dowels, no matter if I put them in to the base first or into the shelf first, this is the bottom shelf, it's going to the difference between there and there is different from the bottom. So one of these, and I could show you guys in a bit, but one of these is going to have to be widened so the hole is more that way, so it'll secure. This is it attempting to be lined up. Those are in the holes. Those you can see are maybe an eighth out of the holes, and that it's not significantly leaning one way or the other. You could shift it. It's hard to do one-handed. If I shift it and put it on that side, it runs into the same issue. If I try and balance it back and forth, like jiggle it, to try and find that happy middle ground, it seems not to exist. So I'm gonna have to modify it. So what I'm using is a circular file. I don't have the grip for it, so I'm using a piece of cloth. And I'm just trying to wiggle it back and forth, slowly take out a little bit of wood at a time, and kind of keep the file straight so that it doesn't dig too much at an angle into each side of the wood. I could use a drill bit, but I think that might be a little fast, take away too much material. Because while it is the bottom shelf, I'm not going to be putting very many heavy things on it. I still want it to not wobble or have any extra play, and I don't want to just rely on the two bolts for that tolerance. Alright, it's happy. So I was able to take out just a little bit on this corner edge, and then when I test fitted it. So I moved the dowels out a little bit so they have more wiggle room. I'll fix this one first. And then, I guess I'll get a medium shot after get it installed. Alright, so the dowels on the right are seated very straight. These ones are at an angle, but because of that little extra give, looks like it should go. Nope. Come on, got it just a second ago. Alright, maybe without the camera. There she is. I just had to wiggle it and get it seated correctly. So now it dropped into place, which is great. But I gotta do it to the other side, make sure that one fits correctly before screwing this in. So this is the other side, and I flipped it. The sticker is facing me instead of away. These dowels, I suspect, are going to go in just fine because they're very loose. So one side was too tight, one side might be too loose, but we'll see. This one I seem to be able to wiggle into place, but something I found out. The hole on that one, one towards camera, is drilled much too deep. The dowel should have a 1/4 inch poking out, not like 1/8. So take that out for a second. I can show you with that one that just fell out. This snug 1/4 to 1/2. This I don't know, digging for China? Anyway, I'll put some sawdust in there to help get it secured. Actually, the more I look at it, it's a failing of the fake hardwood. There's a pocket where boards weren't lined up exactly, and when they were drilling, they hit that pocket and it went through. You could kind of see a difference in color, maybe not with the camera, but there's definitely layers in there. So it's due to the construction design. That's what caused it. Not that they drilled too much, it's they hit a void. And you can really see the void when you pull out light from one, goes to the other. So there's a pocket going this way between here and here in the back. And you could even kind of make it out on the top one. See if the camera will focus. Not really. But yeah, it's not ideal design there. Alright, so I collected some shavings, sawdust, stuff them in this hole, put a little wood glue in there, and build it back up so this is about there instead of where it sinks all the way in. And it was doing it for both when I tried earlier. Sometimes needed the pliers just to get it out of there. Which it's hardly enough to say structural if it's only sticking up 1/4 or 1/8 or 1/16. I'm just taking a little bit of I think the sawdust will be best here. Putting it in the hole, put it, and then kind of just plunging it so the sawdust fills up there. And I'll do that until it doesn't come up more than there. So now, let's just go there. It actually has some spring to it, but this one still needs a little more. Yeah, just take a little bit, fill it all up, and then plunge it down. Still needs a bit more. Doesn't need to be perfect, and I am gluing it, but I just want not to worry about it. And they should have done a quality control on this and caught this, but they either did and didn't care, or they didn't and didn't catch it. So that's on the manufacturer, James Martin Vanities, that I probably won't be purchasing from them again. So you could put a little bit of wood in there, probably won't hurt it. Hard to do one-handed, but hopefully it's not too shaky. I might have gotten the perfect amount of sawdust. We'll see. Just about. Look at that. Time to add some glue. Normally you pre-mix the glue with the sawdust, but because it's, I don't know, I feel like I'm just gonna do it this way. Might have a better experience pre-mixing it and then putting it in as a kind of like a putty, but this is the way I did it. All right, these are glued. The glue's not really to secure the pegs. They're gonna kind of just be there because it's not exactly perfect on all the, so it'd take too much glue. Like these aren't, it's not kind of what you want. You want it kind of very secure when you're gluing it. So that's kind of buggered anyway. So I just put some glue in there. But the difference here, you could see that it didn't puncture through, or maybe it was more of a solid piece. There's no void on this side. That being said, it's about the same height, so that's good. Looks happy. I just kind of set it on top and wiggled it and caught on both sides, so I'll push it all the way down, and no, I guess it didn't catch on this side. Oh, I probably pushed in the sawdust. I'll fix that. Alright, you see I had to pull it up a little bit. Still at an angle, still not perfect. Maybe I could have used this to make it perfect. That side's seated, but I think when I push this down, it's going to squish all that glue and sawdust together and hopefully create a seal, or be a little bit more structural. All I did to get it fully seated is put a bit of weight on this side, seated here. Next step, screws. Focus. There's a lock washer there. You want to put that on the side that's between the washer and the head, so it has parallel surfaces to compress against. And this is what the lock washer looks like. It's just kind of an O-ring split, different direction or different angles on it, so that when it compresses, it's given pushback. You just kind of set it in there. Get in the hole, and hooray! Thankfully, it did come with a little hexagon tool. Let's see. Perfect for scratching the bottom of your vanity. I'm just going to get these finger tight. You can use your fingers for that. Yeah. Alright, so it is grabbing the screw, which is good. It means that they're at least in line. So this part, which is probably more important than the others, is good. Tighten it a little more on each. I'm looking at the washer itself, and probably can't see it very well, until it's just tight enough that I could go in here afterwards and get some final torque down after the Vanities installed. Here's the top part of the Vanity too. But if I tighten them fully right now, it's probably going to be harder to install this side. So next step is installing this one. I don't have a second pair of hands, so I'm just going to do that and see you after. So, because it's just me, I lined up this side, put the pins in here, and hopefully it means I could get it in when I stand it up. What I want to be careful is it's a big lever over there. I mean, because it's attached at the end point, so I don't want that to fall and snap the pins, because it could. Alright, got it kind of set up. So I actually braced the underside of my head so I could look down, and adjusted each of these. You could really see how it's at an angle, but I'm going to push it together, and all the holes have the dowels in them. Best that I got it. I'm not really going to glue it. I'm just going to scrunch it together, call it good. But in a pinch, your head is an appendage. Alright, now I'm just reaching under, securing these bolts, and it's going to be a little bit more of a pain because I can't screw as easily. I can't see it. Maybe if I laid it down, but at this point I'm just going to get it done. You could really see it tighten when you just got some there. Oh, come on. There we go. Much. See, it kind of sucks up. So it's square and square. So I've tightened it as far as I think I should. I'm starting to hear it sounds like the bolt that's in here being drawn through the wood towards here. And that's probably due because this is particle or parts of wood glued together and it's not actually anchored correctly. Like if it was laminated between each board, you could set the anchor, and then when you glue it together, like it'll hold it correctly, right? And it can't pull through because it's solid wood, even though it's only halfway through, right? But it doesn't feel like that's what happened here. It feels like they're pretty cheap. All right, I'm not super torquing these down. Something like that, like one finger. But that's about as much as I can confidently say that it'll secure there. Wanted to show the box it came in. Even though it's fairly beat up, it actually, I'm very satisfied with the packing material that was used and how it was packed. Alright, moment of truth. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, buddy. Okay, I'll take that. Slightly off level, but that's fine. And I'd call it square enough. That's a little bit more at the top than the bottom, but not much we can do about that. That's more about this connection. And like, yeah, I could unscrew it and try and shave this and bring it a little further that way, but no, we're just gonna call it good because everything else is happy. Over here. Yeah, close enough. And I am checking it because there's this is a sink that sets on top of there. So it needs to be relatively square, or level, I should say, level more than square, so that it drains correctly. Alright, so these are the drawers that came pre-assembled. Nice soft close. Have to pop them off the rails. As it looks like there's a screw there in each corner that corresponds with the hole. Let's pray it fits. The underside of the drawer, possibly the nicest part, that can adjust so that when you close it, just make sure my fingers aren't caught now. That red part sits on the lip here. So you could adjust the angle so that it, spin the camera, so that it's level the whole way through. So that's really nice. This is also kind of cool. The drawers are detachable. You pull a pin that's on the inside of the rail, and the drawer itself lifts off and comes out of these grooves. Well, it's not a groove, it's a little locking mechanism in the back of the drawer. Got it for one. That's a locking pin in the rear, and that's the side where the little locking clip goes in. That's the clips on each side. I need 2 hands for this. Alright, so I gotta get this guy in here somewhat level and screw it in. Kitty cat's inspecting. deciding if it's gonna pass or not. We'll see. Need 2 hands at least for that. So I'm probably gonna hold it in the middle with one hand, tighten the bolt going in, and on that, then not all the way, right? Just tighten some, and then get it for the other sides, and tighten them all the same. Yeah, got it. It's not equally tight on everything yet. I started with that one and kind of held it right here until I got it just 2 or 3 turns. Then did the other back, and this one, and this one. And I'm just going to tighten them so that the gaps are equal as I tighten it, because I want it to set square. I'm kind of also going to hold it up so that it's not like the screw or the bolt isn't catching on a lip or something. So hopefully it comes out as nice as it can. It does look like it's a little recessed from here, so maybe the sink sits on these. Well, the sink's gonna sit in the cutout, I think. Looks like it goes there. We'll see. So my biggest concern when screwing or tightening the bolts, just check that it's level. Don't need to be perfect. That's pretty darn good. Happy with that. Obviously, if it was higher on one side or the other, you did loosen one a little bit and see if you can lift while screwing in just to bring it back level. But this is level, so I'm happy with that. Something I just noticed. It's hydraulic, not spring. Or maybe it's a coiled spring. But it would be like decoiled right now, and then when it's shrinking back down. Versus some, at least the other drawers I installed, you get like the big box door, not this nice. This is so nice. Time to put the drawers on. Should be simple as lining those holes with that pin. See if I could do this one-handed. Here's one, kind of fell into place. And there's 2. And then underneath here, these clips. Let's see if you see that. Hopefully it's not that clipped the hole. So I'll do that right here too. Alright, so they come with little adjusters. You see that? Little screw. And I'll spin it so that it sits a little higher. And then it's a little more even, because you see on this side it's slightly bigger gap than on that side. So it's really nice about these drawers. Moment of truth. This is the sink that goes on top. Really hoping the guy who dropped it off double checked it, because it says raise like issues when you accept, not when you unbox. So here it goes. Let's see how it looks. It looks upside down. My God. They gave me a backwards sink. Nah, I don't see any cracks on this side. Yeah, a piece of dirt, not a crack. Well, looks good so far. Alright, it's in. It's not secured. I'm gonna have to pick it up and do construction adhesive along the edges and get it centered. Well, not centered, evenly overlapping on every corner. But happy with it so far. And just sitting there, level. Level. It matters to me, right?